Hey everybody, welcome. FitHealth Pros, 1+ year interview.
We made it!
Yes, yes. So I am Coach Sean.
I'm Dr. Kevin.
We are the FitHealth Pros.
We are.
Today, we just want to kind of welcome you back.
Yes.
Want to thank you for all the follows, the likes, the subscriptions, the ringing of the bell that we've had over the last year, just over a year. Now, these last couple of years have been very challenging.
Yes.
Very demanding due to the pandemic. So today we're going to just kind of re-interview each other from the first interview process that we did. See what has changed,
Right.
What's the same, or what we're hoping to see in the future for FitHealth Pros, Challenge Fit AZ, Optimal Spine and Wellness,
Yes.
and figure out where are we today in January of 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this last year has been a good year for FitHealth Pros. We did over 50 videos in that first year. Just to kind of give it, what's that?
Some very extensive.
We did kind of the platform, the base of everything. So some of them are long, but keep in mind the 4 pillars that we like to bring to everybody is going to be the exercise, nutrition, sleep science, and then stress management as well. So it really encompasses everything about health, wellness, and fitness, and everything that we're trying to bring to you. So there's a lot of videos, a lot of deep dives,
Yeah.
and then some short ones there too.
Quick hitters.
But let's go into the first question, Sean. So,
Okay.
what have you enjoyed most about the channel and doing FitHealth Pros?
I think getting all of our years of experience and education and all that stuff, we've been wanting to get more out to the masses over the years. And this YouTube channel has really kind of given us an opportunity to get all this information out and kind of set a fact-based foundation for health and wellness out there in this channel. And the back and forth that we can have with you, the audience, is my favorite part.
Right.
It's the attaboys and the well, what, can you give me more about that? I'm still a little fuzzy on this. The back and forth, both online, in the comments here or on our other social media accounts, but also in person when our clients watch that, or friends of clients that we don't even know come to us with questions when we first meet them.
Right.
It's stuff like that that's like, oh, we are getting out there, we are having an impact.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I come to work and people will watch the videos and that's what the conversation's about.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen before, so that was really cool. The tongue twisters that you put on the board sometimes.
That's another favorite.
That's the. I don't know.
Because I get to write up the boards, so I can kind of put the columns that Kevin's going to be talking about.
Right.
And put some great tongue twisters up there.
Right.
So
For some reason,
trippingly,
I am always trying to say these words that I don't normally say in my regular repertoire.
Would I be that dastardly? I mean, would I?
Right. So for me, really learning about how to bring this information to you with this new media. As a chiropractor, everything, my technique, the knowledge that we have to bring to the patients about pain, about wellness, it works at one side of your brain pretty much the same way all the time.
Sure.
But I grew up doing marketing, drawing, have an artistic slant, and by doing this, by editing the videos, by coming up with ways to deliver this information, learning different media things outside of YouTube, the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that stuff, it's like it really gets your juices flowing on the opposite brain
and be
side.
creative. So, you can get a little more branding and a little more just business in this century.
Right. So it's cool because it's different than me just doing a table talk when I'm adjusting someone.
Yeah.
This you have to kind of think a little differently. How do you guys want to get this information? What's important to you? So that's what's always going on in my mind. How do we bring that? So it's exciting.
So from there, I want to jump into kind of what has changed in your practice
Yeah.
during this pandemic?
Well, when it first started, and I don't know. So last year when we did FitHealth Pros, the year before was kind of the big pandemic year,
yeah,
right?
we got
And
hit
we got
hard.
hit hard.
Yeah.
So that's where we kind of reassessed. Okay, if patients aren't coming in and we're not touching anybody, how do we bring this information to others? And so I think there's probably a lot of people out there that sat and kind of reevaluated their life, reevaluated what they were doing, and how can we do this in a online type of atmosphere?
Sure.
So that was number one, and that's kind of the why, that we wanted to do that and how it came about. But in the office itself, sure, I mean, we dropped down to half the patients.
Sure.
Some days we'd have one or none, or I just close the office because I'd rather have someone come in the next day versus this day. So that was challenging. What else? I think that right now, and I'll probably go into it on the next one a little more, but the reason why people come in, they're in pain, so that's kind of the same,
Yeah.
but how they got
to
there,
pain.
so that's a little different.
The pandemic weight gains and
Yeah.
working from home and
Absolutely, have a different chair, which we have video on.
we do.
How
How topical.
But in Arizona, that's where we're from. I think that people got out a little sooner than a lot of cities and states.
We are the Wild
we're-
West out here.
Right. So
For sure.
it came back pretty good, but it's definitely on people's minds. The talk is a lot about the virus and people being sick, and I don't mind it, but boy, I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice when we get through this.
'Cause-
When we get through this,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great.
So I think it goes into the next question of, it's like what I like to talk about and things like that. But I would say that, the drop off in the pandemic and then having people come back and, talk about the pandemic still, that's the biggest change. So,
Sure.
yeah, that's
Sure.
How about with yours?
I think with mine, I'm still hyper focused on rehabilitative exercise and helping people with very chronic conditions. But I have many more online clients now than I ever did before. I would say, like, right now my business is 90% online. I have people from all over the country, and which is really fun because speaking of pandemic, I get to kind of feel the pulse of different geographic areas within the country and how their governments are dealing with it, and et cetera, which is fascinating in its own sense. But in terms of the people that I'm seeing in person, they're my absolute most chronic clients. So people who've had strokes, one who had an aortic dissection, who's coming back from that, MS and things where I really need to be in the room with them.
Right.
Masked up, all that good stuff. That's very different,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Because I have to protect them and what I'm bringing into their houses. But for the most part, for the bad backs, the shoulders, and bringing people back from situations like that, I can do those online. And that business has really come up in this last year. First year, people were still trying to figure it out. They weren't necessarily as comfortable with online.
Right.
But this last year, 2021, been completely different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how the pandemic created this new mode of conducting business with the Microsoft Teams and Zoom and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't quite figured out how to adjust somebody that way.
Right. Lean against your chair.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
That's not the same. But but all the other stuff, that's what we can bring with technology. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what has been kind of the same or is coming back around
Yeah, I mean,
that you're seeing over this last year especially?
everybody coming back with the intent of bettering themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Normally, New Year, everyone has a New Year's resolution, and so I would say that when people come in, instead of saying I hurt myself or it's like I was in a car accident, This time of year does produce the reason why is I've been taking care of this person, and finally it's time to take care of myself. So
Right.
that's the same for this time of year, and that's what we've noticed. At the end of last year, I do think that people are getting back into the groove where they're back at work a little bit, or maybe they work split home and work.
Sure.
So
Not
whether
all
they're
online anymore.
right,
Yeah.
and traveling, they're getting back into their sports. So now we're starting to see those patients come back around again that have the weekend warrior injuries, the yard work injuries. You know, we're here in Arizona, and if you're somewhere else, I think it's supposed to be 76 or 78 today.
Yeah, it's gonna be pleasant.
It'll be nice. So, you know, we like that because people are active and think
Right.
about health and wellness.
And we can say that now.
Right.
And then later on we'll be like, it's gonna be 115 and nobody's going outside today.
Exactly.
You got your pros and cons
Exactly.
everywhere you live.
When I looked at this question, and I just kept on coming up with what's more different. It's the same type of condition, and how I handle that, and how we treat it with physical therapy or medicine or massage and chiropractic adjustments. All of the ways to treat that has stayed the same.
Right.
But-
But how we got there.
But how we got there is just so different. Everybody's like, you know, there's a lot more people that are sick. So they have these coughs that affect their back. There's people, they're at home, they're gaining weight. So I found that there was probably more different than the same, even though
it's kind of a tricky question.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So,
You know,
what about you?
for me, it's people are coming back around to taking care of themselves again, where they were kind of plugged in and trying to make things work and relearning things or learning new ways of doing things from home.
Right.
And, you know, we were talking a little bit earlier, it's like, it's not a break room that you're going to get a quick cup of coffee, it's your whole kitchen. So people have gained quite a bit of weight,
Right.
and mindless eating and things like that, where they got away from health, where they were living just 2 years ago, where
Right.
everything was very health supercharged. This is what we need to be doing. That's kind of coming around again to hopefully get back to the same, where people are kind of watching what they're eating a little bit, sleeping better, exercising more, getting out and about a little bit more, and just having confidence in what they know,
Right.
or reaching out to people, experts in these given fields. That's what I'm starting to see come around a little more now.
Right.
But it took a while.
It did. I think we were in a big rut with work. So this is
Never unplugging.
you know, it's like it's a big reset for, I mean, obviously we know in the news the employment and all that kind of stuff, but from our stance, from the healthcare, it's like what can I do? People are now asking, how do I make my immune system stronger? How do I better my my health? Well, it all comes from you. You know, it's like we lived in a disease care system, and whenever you're sick, you get a pill and you take that, and that's
Hopefully
supposed
that
to
doesn't come back.
cure you. Yeah.
To be
So we're liking
end all.
that people are really doing a lot of research on how do I better myself? How do we really live healthy and speak to a healthcare system,
Yeah.
which comes from you, and I know people have tons of questions. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And that's kind of like this coming year with FitHealth Pros. Like, what are you hoping for? And I know getting more questions from all of you is part of this.
Yeah. So for this year with FitHealth Pros, the thing that I'm excited about, so there's a couple of different aspects that we're going to run into. But for me, if you have Facebook and you're scrolling down, you'll see some kind of product that maybe it popped into your mind, you thought about.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see these things, you know, as a chiropractor, I'm always looking at different health and wellness things. But so what we're going to do is we're going to go out and buy those things, or if those companies want to donate them,
They're more than welcome
they're more than welcome to. But there's
We'll
a
give
ton
you
of
an
things.
honest review on it.
Yeah, from everything from, you know, sleep science to stress management, all these little apps, products that you can touch and feel, things that are pain relief. But we'll do some open boxing box
Sure.
opening. There we go. And share our opinions on that. Maybe come up with a guideline. You know, is this product a good product? Does it do what it's supposed to do?
Right.
And does it have value? And
Yeah,
would we
price
recommend that?
points,
Yeah.
things like that.
You know, and so there's a ton of that stuff out there, and I always find it fascinating, especially in this technology world. It's like everyone, you got this big dump of things, and yeah, I have some patients. Kind of funny when I'm thinking about some of my older patients, and they just get bombarded with telephone calls or advertisements, and they're like, "Oh, I bought this cream, or I bought this belt, or I bought this hand exerciser," and it's like
Everything that comes
they have
out.
nothing. You know, it's like, you know, God bless you guys, you know, who are retired and in that demographic, but stop buying everything.
Yeah, not all products are valuable.
Right. And so we want to see what works, what doesn't
Yeah.
work, and we'll give you our
Honest
opinion.
opinions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
We can't be bought and sold,
No.
or so they say. Or so they say.
What else are we doing?
I mean, that's basically what we wanted to touch on today, and
Right.
kind of figure out. Like we brainstorm every quarter to be like, what content are we going to put out next? What do we think you want to see, and what have the comments come back to us, both online, in social media, and in life.
Right.
You know, we get friends of friends who come up, or we meet them the first time, and they're like, "So, what do you think about such and such? We saw this video,"
Right.
which is kind of cool. So
Right.
we are getting out to you, but we need more from you to see what is kind of niggling, what is bothering you, where your pain is, answers that you haven't been able to come across. Ask us.
Sure.
You know.
Tell them about the in the news segments.
Oh yeah, and we're also going to jump into some in the news segments too, based on the 4 pillars. What's going on today?
Right.
You know, when we go to film, and we're just going to have some back and forth about it. Give our again honest opinions on that. Kind of how it's being shaded in the media, one way or the other,
Right.
and what we're seeing.
Yeah, think if you're scrolling, this is kind of how I envisioned this, is we'll be at a table this time, and we'll have our laptops, and just like you guys, when you're looking at the news, scrolling through, it's like, does this guy know what he's talking about? Well, that's what we want to do, is we want to tell you what we think.
Yeah.
Does this person know what they're talking about? Is this good for you? Not only is the product good, but is the information good? Because I think that's more important.
Right. Where's the information coming from?
Right.
And why is it slanted this way?
Right.
You know, we want to go a little deeper into that. So
Maybe
that's going to be fun.
we may be calling some people out.
Maybe. We get some people who don't like us. That's a bummer.
We're doing our job.
But we have a lot of cool stuff coming. And again, the more you can give us in terms of what you're looking for, the more we can help you as well. And that's why we're doing this for the masses on YouTube.
Yeah.
We want to help as many people as we can in as short amount of time as we can, and be the FitHealth Pros that we are.
Absolutely.
I'm Coach Sean.
And I'm Dr. Kevin.
We are the FitHealth Pros, and thank you so much for coming along for the ride up to this point,
Yes, thank you guys.
and continue on.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks. Here we go.
Take 2 will be nothing like the first practice round.
Exactly. There'll be some pregnant pauses. So what did I say before, and what am
was-
I going to say this time? I did.